You have a loved one in the hospital and you're really frustrated because they won't talk to you. They say you don't have the proper authorizations, you don't have the right paperwork. And now you're not only frustrated, you get angry and you don't understand why this is all happening. What do you do about it? Well, it may be too late by this point. So in today's episode of Straight Talk, I want to talk about how to get all your paperwork straight. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Spector. Welcome to another episode of Straight Talk. And in this podcast, I pull back the curtains on medical malpractice. I give you some information that I don't know that you're going to hear from any other attorney. Thanks so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, thanks for listening. Getting your paperwork right, I see it all the time. People put it off. They don't want to deal with it. They think it's not going to make a difference. But then what happens is when someone goes into the hospital and you need to make decisions, especially if you have multiple family members and there's nobody that has the authority to make these decisions, it becomes very complicated and confusing for the family, but also for the hospital. They don't know who to turn to. They have HIPAA requirements. They just can't give medical information out to everybody. They need to know who is the authorized representative. And unfortunately, many times people don't have the right paperwork. So in this episode, I want to stress with you, if you're listening to this, please take the time to get all of your paperwork set up. Well, let's go through what the essential paperwork is and what some confusion is around that. The first thing, let's start with a power of attorney. Many people know what this term is, but they really don't understand what it's all about. A power of attorney is when you give someone else the ability to make decisions for you. I'm talking here about medical decisions. You can have powers of attorney for financial decisions, but for the purposes of this podcast, we're talking about medical decisions. And that means if you can't make the decisions for yourself, you have put in writing the person that you want to do that for you. That's extremely helpful because without a power of attorney, the hospital doesn't know who to turn to. So it's really important that part of your paperwork is to make sure you have a power of attorney. Many of them can be found online. I would recommend that you speak with a lawyer about it, but you can do things very simply. What is a power of attorney confusion that people think a power of attorney is, but it isn't? When you die, your powers of attorney die with you. Many people think that after someone dies and they need to take care of the family decisions about funeral arrangements or cremation or to talk with the hospitals, they think they can get a power of attorney after the person has died. That's not true. Remember, once the person dies, the power of attorney dies. So the next piece of paperwork that's really important is to have a living will. It's also called an advance directive. That's really important because you need to put down in writing exactly what you want to happen to you if, for example, you're in a very bad state, a vegetative state. Do you want to live that way or do you not? Do you want the doctors and hospitals to take extraordinary measures to keep you alive or you don't? Do you want food and water? What do you want for yourself if you're in that state? If you don't have an advance directive, I've seen so many cases where there's confusion among the family. Some believe that their loved one wanted to be kept alive. Others say no. They want to be able to go in peace without extraordinary measures. So there's confusion. But if you take the time to put down exactly what you want, it will be very clear to your family. They may not agree. They may not agree with you. Some may think that you should try everything to keep yourself alive. Some may agree with you. That's not the point. That's irrelevant. It's your decision. But if you don't put that in writing and you don't get that piece of paperwork straight, you can imagine what kind of confusion that can cause your family and also for the hospitals that need to know what exactly to do or not to do. The last piece of paperwork is a will. Nobody wants to deal with a will. Nobody wants to face their mortality. But the truth is, we're all going to die at some point. Hopefully, we live long, healthy lives. But time is undefeated. And so we have to take the time to make a will. And you say to yourself, well, I don't really have much. I'm not a wealthy person. I don't have much money. Why do I need a will? You need a will because you have to designate somebody called the personal representative of your estate. This is a person that will handle your affairs. And even if you're a person of modest means and you don't own a lot, you still need someone who has the legal authority to take care of your business. Whether it's a bank account, it doesn't matter whether you have $1 in your bank account or $1 billion in your bank account. The bank will not deal with someone that doesn't have the legal authority. You may have to deal with Social Security. You may have to deal with Medicare, all these things to help somebody clean up their affairs. If there's no personal representative, then it becomes very, very confusing. And it may be that you can't get things done for your loved one to clean up their affairs because there's nobody that has the legal authority. In a medical malpractice situation, I've done videos on this before. A personal representative is the person who has the authority to get medical records. When you die, your privacy in your medical records doesn't die with you. A loved one just can't go to the hospital and say, well, I'm the daughter or I'm the spouse or I'm the son and get medical records because the hospital can't release those without the proper documentation. And under the law, it's the personal representative of the estate that has the authority to do that. So I hope you found this podcast helpful. Let's summarize. Let's get our paperwork straight. Let's make sure we have a power of attorney, we have a living will, and we have a regular will. And I explained the reasons why you need all those pieces of paperwork. You can do them rather inexpensively. You don't need fancy documents. You may be able to find someone that could do this at a reasonable price, but it's worth the money. It really is, because without it, you're going to create a lot of chaos and confusion for your loved ones. Thanks for listening. I hope you found all this information valuable. I drop these episodes Wednesdays, sometime between 3 and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I look forward to seeing you again or you hearing me again on another episode of Straight Talk. Take care.